And it won't be
Yes! Welcome to another episode of You Don't Even Know.
I'm Jordan.
Are we starting now?
And I can't hear the song nor any other participants.
I'm gonna restart.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Hey.
We're gonna try again, or no?
What?
Are we gonna do again? Are we gonna try again?
No, I think that's good. I think we'll just do it in one take.
Yeah. Did we start?
No.
Yeah, sure, that was starting.
This is the hello, welcome to the show. We're in it now.
Hey, we're
here.
Hi. See? That
Where
was
did
easy.
you? Hey, I didn't see you there.
What a smooth and seamless transition.
When did you sneak in, you listener? Get out of the garage.
Yeah,
It's only
89 degrees in here.
Yeah. Well, in my office, it's much colder than that, but that's because I'm
In southern
much
Canada.
farther north. Yeah. Basically, if Canada had a Florida, that's where I would be.
Yes. You're in Canada's panhandle.
Yeah. Well, hi guys.
Hi.
I'm
Hey.
not in the garage this time. This time I'm up in Idaho again.
You're
Oh,
back.
is that why you can't hear any words that we're saying?
Back in Idaho.
Yeah, that's so. That's the lack of, what do you call it? Communication between us. It's
You didn't tell Jordan to fix it, so that
It's
had no
because
idea.
of the 800-mile gap. If anyone is curious,
Yeah,
if
that's-
any of the listeners are curious,
that's the delay.
Blame it on the 800 miles.
Because it was much easier for you to hear us when there is about a 36-inch gap between us.
Yeah.
it was easier to
Yes.
hear. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's cool. So how's California? Is it still hot?
California is. It's October hot right now, so
Okay.
it's nippy at night.
It's
Yeah.
it's
And then-
100 degrees
and then-
every day
and then 90
until Halloween,
92 in the daytime, and then it's gonna get super windy soon.
and then
Oh yeah, you do guys have the winds coming, huh?
Yeah, Santa Ana's. Why do they call it Santa Ana?
I'm really not sure. Do you want me to Google it?
No, I just wanted Justin to pull it out of his back of his head.
well, it's not even a local weather event.
Do they call Santa Ana's other places?
No, it's like winds that start in like Arizona, Nevada, Utah, and get squeezed through mountains and get like pressurized, like putting your thumb over a hose. And then by the time they get here, they're like,
So
Yeah, it's
Is
like
it-
a Kamehameha.
they're not even winds from here. They're winds from like like the desert
do they have
that are getting like pushed into California.
what happened first? The winds or the city?
The winds.
Well, that's silly. What did we call first? Of course, the winds happened first. What did we call them first? Did we call the winds Santa Ana's first, and then we named a city then, or the city then?
The winds first.
Oh my goodness! The keyboard.
Yes, Josiah's going to Google the
I'm
etymological
Googling
roots of the Santa Ana winds, and at what point in history did the term Santa Ana begin to refer to the winds versus the city?
Yeah. What do you Josiah? What in northern Idaho? What do you guys call hefty winds?
I don't know.
Why didn't we
I
just
haven't
say
had,
it's
we haven't
excessive?
had a windy day like that yet. It's been windy, but not like Santana windy. Also, the Santana wind name came after the city. Is actually named after the city.
Interesting, because it's not even that
Yeah.
windy in Santa Ana.
Yeah.
It's in Orange County. They don't even get hit that hard.
I know. I'm like, it's that we should rename it to like Fontana or Rancho Cucamonga. Like, it's way worse right there.
Just off the mountain.
Yeah.
When you just get pummeled.
Yeah, it just come down the mountain and just blasts everyone up there.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, we should rename it.
That's good.
Yep.
Start a petition.
Name it. Yeah, the
Fontucky.
Fontucky Winds.
Mm-hmm.
That's a better name.
Yeah. I'm very curious for our international listeners if they like are interested at all in the
how
Southern
many of them have
California Inland Empire
absolutely
dynamic.
turned out yet?
Yeah.
It's going to be on Friday. We have a low of like 30 degrees.
That's
so
horrible.
That's cool. Yeah, it's going to be cold.
Where you live, or is that like in the mountains?
No, like here.
That's
at
weird.
my house.
Yeah. Weren't you like 100 degrees like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it's taken a turn.
That's wild.
Basically, as soon as like we were like halfway through September, like the 15th maybe. Boy, did it turn. We went from like 90-degree days to like 60 and 70-degree days.
That's
and
horrible.
our lows have been in the 40s at night.
Do you guys all get
It's
sick
fabulous.
like, at that moment?
I mean, everybody did get sick, but it might be unrelated.
To the fact that it's freezing, that's completely unrelated.
Unrelated.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's has anything to do with the temperature. It might just be the pollen.
Do you guys have like
Allergies aren't sick.
M-
Pollen is
my
a virus.
allergies. It is for my body.
Josiah gets such allergies.
I do.
He just starts calling it a cold.
I actually do sometimes. I'm like, is this allergies or cold now? I'm really not sure.
And and then you just work at home, so it doesn't even matter.
It's true. I didn't even put on pants today. I've been in my jammies all day.
Nice.
Yep.
And
living
then,
the dream.
Yeah, you just wear a collar, just a collar, not anything else.
Yeah, you just put on a collar.
Yeah.
Well, did you if you were home all day, did you did you learn some like additions and subtractions and how to write your E's and
Yeah, how is the homework dynamic?
Well, let me tell you. So you wake up and then you walk about 20 feet into your office and then you do work. And then occasionally, instead of one of your colleagues walking into your office to bother you about something, your children roam in and ask you questions and stuff. So it's like, it feels very similar, the amount of kind of interruptions that happen, but it's just different people interrupting you about different things.
like instead of one of your coworkers walking in and telling you something inane that you have no interest in, it's one of your kids going like, I went poop.
Literally, like walking in with a broken yo-yo that's now on my desk. Hey, Daddy, can you fix this broken yo-yo?
Fix this broken yo-yo.
And I say, yeah, and then I put it on my desk right here.
Yeah.
And then after there's, about 5 toys there that need to be fixed, I'll get the super glue out and fix them.
Nice.
I broke this. How did you break it? I threw it at my brother really hard because I was mad at him.
They do like throwing things. That's true.
So I threw it, and then it broke.
Who told you that?
Yeah.
How did you know?
Did he successfully hurt his brother?
No, they don't do too much fighting.
No?
They do some. But for the most part, they're just crazy, so they end up like hurting each other accidentally, They'll just like
So they're having fun.
Like
they're
one
just
of them,
like having fun together, and then they just like one of them like jumps off the thing, or they like accidentally throw the ball and it like bounces off of something and it hits somebody else, or
like Josiah will just be jumping off the couch onto Jedi by accident.
Yeah, and then they just like, whoops, I didn't know that was gonna hurt you. Like they're not like maliciously hurting each other.
No, just
They're
absent-mindedly hurting each other.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, I didn't think that was gonna do that.
Because I've seen Josiah like absent-mindedly swing a stick from a tree around like a bullwhip and accidentally crack Jedi over the head.
Yeah. But it was an accident.
Yeah, he was like, oh, that's right. You were standing there, and I was swinging around a 6-foot stick.
Oh,
yeah, I didn't
Saudi.
know. I didn't know that was gonna hurt you. I was just having fun.
It's like
What were you doing?
it's like when Justin, swung around a big flamethrower or makeshift or mock flamethrower.
Yeah, we were all just having fun.
We were having
and
fun.
Jordan happened to get hurt.
Yeah. And then I don't remember it, so it never even happened.
I don't remember it.
You
That was
actually
about
don't
the same
remember
time that
That's
Jordan
hilarious.
started having seizures.
That's true. I wonder if they're related at all.
I don't think so.
I wonder if it's because I
Probably
cracked
not.
him in the head with a big giant piece of sheet metal.
I don't remember having seizures either, so
It's probably just allergies.
probably too much pollen.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dandelions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I have a question.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have a question.
light me up.
Why do girls wear outfits that are silly?
Okay.
So one of the ones that is actually an old style now, but it's frustrating still when I see it. Is
Jeans and a t-shirt.
No, that's completely normal. That's not frustrating at all. I just don't get it. It's not even like that frustrating. I just don't get it.
Okay.
Is the jacket or like pull up, not pull up, the hoodie kind of thing, but it just rests. It rests on your inner elbows and goes across the backside. Have you seen that? Have you guys seen that?
Oh, yeah, where they basically, like if you put on like a zip-up hoodie,
Yep.
like you're supposed to,
Yep.
and then you took it off your shoulders.
Yeah. Take it off your shoulder and it just all falls on your like arms, on the bent part of your arms, and you walk around.
I
like
have
that
seen that.
all day.
I don't understand that.
And it does.
That doesn't make sense.
It basically is keeping from your wrists to your elbows warm, and the lower
It
part of
probably
your
keeps, and like, probably your tuchus gets pretty warm too.
back. No. Your sweaters, they're usually too short for that. It like just goes from like,
What kind of sweater
I don't know.
could
So
you
you
have
basically-
not over?
You made a crop top into a cummerbund.
I don't know what a
What?
cummerbund is.
So if you Google cummerbund,
I think it's Cumberbatch.
Isn't that a
Cumberbatch.
famous actor that we like?
it's
Yeah.
on a tuxedo. It's that little like colorful waistband that they wear.
Oh, see.
Yes, but only on the back half.
Gosh, nobody wears those anymore.
I haven't seen one of those.
That's true.
I've done a lot of weddings and they haven't been involved. And
Yeah,
there's-
it's like a decorative sash.
I think
Yes.
everyone got confused
Like,
with Cumberbatch.
If you were in the Ottoman Empire and you wanted to wear a decorative sash with your fez in a wedding,
What's a fez?
those little round
fez is a
hats they
hat.
have.
Ah,
A booze hat from Aladdin.
okay. I remember those. Okay.
Justin knows about all of the weird articles of clothing.
No,
Fair
when
enough.
I
because
took
one time he took a class in college
when I took
and had
my
to
history
learn
of
about all
fashion
of these
class,
things.
Why did you take history and fashion?
I needed a unit.
Just a unit.
You have to take X number of units in like the arts.
Or,
Like you could either take like like a drawing class, but I can't draw, so
but you could draw. What are you talking about?
so you know, but like honest, like they make you draw like mountains and like
That's not drawing. That's like actually like,
they make you
Painting
sketch
well.
like anatomically correct hands.
that's stupid.
It's
But-
incredibly difficult.
But it's stupid, but it's also like, well, that sounds like a great talent to have.
Yeah, but if you're just bad at it, you still just failed the class. That's
Yeah.
what I don't understand about art classes. It's like the one class that you can't just like fake it through, like you're just gonna draw a bad hand and get a bad grade, and there's
Well,
no.
what about if
getting
you're
around
just
it.
bad at math? It's kind of the same thing.
I don't know. I feel like you could learn math, but I don't know if you could like learn how to draw a hand as easily. Like if you're bad at both.
I think I'm bad at both, and I think I could learn how to draw a hand just as much as I could learn how to memorize math.
I don't know. Let's have Jordan go into like a singing class or something.
I think I do better at that than both of those, maybe combined.
You think you're better at singing than math?
That's how bad I am at drawing and math. Yeah. It's the memorization of the like multiplication that really gets me. Like what the times table is, and I'm just like,
yeah, but you could sit there and memorize that and just like put it in your brain. You can't just memorize how to draw a hand.
No,
like
but you can exercise. It's muscle memory.
Yeah, but it's not just muscle. It's not just a video game.
I mean,
video games are like you're not just playing
similar.
Super Mario Brothers. Like that's just muscle memory.
But we've talked about it before. It's just hours logged. So I think I could be good at all of this stuff.
Yeah, I'm submitting that it would take you much longer to be a good hand drawer than a good like getting an A in a math class would be easier than getting an A in a drawing class if you were bad at both.
I think that might be true for you, but
like learning how to remove somebody from a photograph in Photoshop is totally different from having to paint somebody out of a photograph.
Yeah, so I don't know
inks.
why. I don't know why they made you take that art class for what was your degree?
It's just general ed. So for general ed,
you have to take art classes?
Yeah, you have to take a certain number of units in art.
That's silly.
And you have to take a certain number of units in science and a certain number of units in
that. It should be math, science. Not
just
art,
math and science.
No. Writing, reading.
My kids told me that's all there is in China. They just have math classes and science classes.
How to...
Yeah.
They don't have English classes?
How to rule world.
Those are like an elective, I guess you could take if you want to, but you don't have to.
Crazy.
It's not encouraged.
So the other outfit that
one of my kids told me the other day, they're like, I'm forgetting how to write in Chinese. Like,
That's
hang
good.
on, give me something to say, and they're like, no, I totally forgot how to write that.
Oh shoot, that's kind of good.
Like,
that's crazy.
It's leaving.
Yeah, I took a lot of sign language in high school, and junior high. That was my language.
And by a lot, he means 1 year.
I mean, it was a couple semesters where I passed all the classes in multiple. Like I took I think a whole semester or year of it in junior high or elementary school. Passed that, and then another whole year of it in high school. Passed that, and then
and that's just memorization.
Yeah, and then you just forget all of it. I'm just like, that's wonderful because I'm not using it. And it's just muscle memory. And like my wife is like a deaf studies major and she'll like sign stuff. And I'm like, I forgot the alphabet. Like that's the first thing you learn. And I forgot most of the alphabet. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Not most of it, a couple key letters and, just the alphabet. So,
Yeah.
So the other outfit that kind of makes me, I mean, it's fine. I'm not like upset.
Flummoxed.
I don't want to say yes to that because I don't really know the definition of that.
All right, we'll just assume that Jordan is flummoxed.
Do you know the one that it's the front of the shirt tucked in to the front of the top of the pants?
Yeah, I would do that all the time when I was like, in grade school.
Well, it's like on accident.
Because you couldn't tuck in your whole shirt. You'd just feel like, here, let's just tuck in the front, right? Okay, there, I'm good.
But why?
Well, when you're like 7, you're like, I don't care what's going on in the back there. Like, that's just, like, back when I was growing up, there were shirts that had, like, a normal length front, and then, like, another tier would drop down, like the back of the shirt. You know how your shirt meets in the middle?
I don't know what you're talking
like
about.
the two halves of fabric that make the front and the back of your shirt.
Oh, yeah, the seam.
Okay. Imagine if on the front half of the seam, it was normal length. Then on the back half of the seam, the back half of fabric just kept going for like 4 inches.
Is that so you can like bend down as a kid and
I don't know.
be fine?
No one explained it to me. It was just that was how the shirt was.
I just feel like that. I don't understand it. This one doesn't even look that odd to me. Like the other one is completely where it's just on your elbows. That's like just an accessory at that point. This one's like, the shirt's still operational. It's still doing its job. It's actually doing a better job being tucked in a little bit. But I just don't understand just tucking in that tiny little bit in the front. I bet what happened, here's what I think happened. Here's my theory behind this, is somebody, some Instagram famous person, we'll call them, came out of the restroom, shirt a little bit tucked in the front, and everyone's like, hey, your shirt's tucked in. And she's like, I meant to do that. And then just kept walking. And then she like had to do it for like months and months. And now it's like,
so you think you're submitting that this style is
created
the Regina George effect?
Because Kylie Jenner came out of the bathroom and one flap.
Yeah. You know when you like have your shirt tucked in wrong, like when you come out of the bathroom, like your pants like swallow it,
or like one flap was hanging out.
Yeah.
I think the fact that you are submitting that Kylie Jenner does not check her outfit before she walks out of the bathroom.
See, that's what we're all supposed to think.
Is probably the most insane thing you've ever said.
I didn't say Kylie Jenner. It could have been just a normal person.
Literally any influencer with enough influence to make this trend a trend.
It could have been anybody. It could have been Ninja. It could have been Asmongold. It could have been.
Oh my gosh! Have you taken Ninja's masterclass yet?
I have not taken Ninja's masterclass yet.
What is his masterclass on?
He has this
masterclass on how to stream.
He has a masterclass
hilarious.
on losing subscribers.
That's funny.
And as you can see on his stream every week, he is just putting his own teachings into effect.
That's funny. Yeah, so that's my theory behind
how to go to Mixer and lose all of your subs.
That's funny. That's my theory.
How to have blue hair.
Behind that, how that came about is...
Have you seen the old clips of him on Family Feud before his hair was blue?
No, I didn't even know he's on Family Feud.
He was on Family Feud before he was
I didn't
Ninja.
even know the blue hair wasn't natural.
And his name is just like, it just said like his normal, it said like Jonathan
like
or something.
Carl.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what Ninja's real name is.
Like,
no one does.
It didn't even say like Ninja. It said like...
And like it's censored out or something.
Yeah, it said like, you know...
Ninja's real name is Richard.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
Richard
so
Blevins.
Yeah, so it just said Richard, like on his name tag, for all to see.
For all to see.
And then he tells the host, he's like, yeah, I travel the country playing video games. And the host like laughs at him and stuff because Justin.tv hadn't really taken off yet, you know?
What's Justin.tv?
That's what turned into Twitch. That was the first name.
Yes.
That was Twitch's first name.
Yes, that's right.
And then they changed it.
Because Justin's too intense of a name.
Like, you need to cool it. Just go with Twitch.
Yeah. Not Justin.
I want to... You got to make like a tech company with like, coffee.tech,
Yeah. Well, there's Coffee Meets Bagel.
Or tech.coffee.
Tech.coffee. All right. Yeah.
Or what did you say, Jordan?
Coffee Meets Bagel. It's a dating website.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. And I heard it's really good.
I saw that on Shark Tank once.
Yeah. No, I hear it's actually decent.
The interesting part. So I'm over here doing research about Ninja now because why not?
Why?
And so according to Google, his name is Richard.
But then according to his Wikipedia page, it's Jonathan.
No, according to... If you Google Ninja on Family Feud, you see pictures of him on Family Feud, but his name tag says Tyler.
Oh, the conspiracy.
No, that was definitely him.
I believe you, because the title of the video is Tyler Ninja Blevins.
So he changed his name twice? What's his?
I don't know.
What's his real name?
I need to dig deeper.
Is Richard his dad's name?
Ninja real name. Okay, so it's Richard Tyler Blevins.
Ah.
Okay, so his real life Christian name is Richard Tyler. Okay, so Tyler was what he went by.
Everybody calls me Tyler.
He goes by his middle name.
and then-
He is 31 years of age.
Jeez.
I didn't think he was that old. I thought he was like 19.
Yeah, he is born in 1991.
Wow. What a year.
Ninja became a streamer in 2011 on Justin.tv.
See, there you go.
Then moved to Twitch.tv. Were those the same?
Yes.
It says he moved, though, not like it became Twitch.
Well,
Interesting.
They probably launched the second one and killed the first.
Justin.tv. What happens if you go to that website? Who owns this now? This is a really, really long rabbit trail I'm going down with Mr. Richard Tyler Blevins.
And we were just talking about outfits.
Yeah, I mean, Justin.tv doesn't go anywhere now. if
Nowhere?
anyone's
Okay.
curious.
Okay. Yeah, just
Nothing.
I was just sitting here like looking at Josiah's FaceTime like, just be careful.
Like, who knows who bought it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could just be like,
Yeah, what crazy website this forwards to.
yeah, it's just a forwarding address now. For
Warning
like,
to future podcast listeners. Don't just Google random stuff.
Or do, because so far it's been fine.
I mean, at least Google it. Don't
You know
don't
what,
ever
just-
type in the search bar like a
just
website.
click I'm feeling lucky on Google at least once a day.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just gotta YOLO.
Yeah, even if you misspell something, it's just like don't ever use the search bar alone. Use a browser. Like like
have
have a search
a
engine.
little bit of a buffer.
Yeah, have something that'll give you at least a description.
Yeah.
That's pro tips of surfing the internet for the older listeners.
For our elderly folk, if
Yeah.
you will.
Yeah.
You know who you are.
So, on the topic of gigantic wagon wheels and rabbit holes,
Sure.
I have a theory I would like to profit and postulate to the both of you.
Okay.
Yeah, hit me with your best theory.
Okay. So, you know how Andor came out on Disney Plus?
Yes.
Let's pretend like I don't know what that is.
Well, I didn't watch that show
I haven't watched it either.
because Disney Plus has been doing its best to produce content that's abnormally bland. Like the stuff that I've had, like I tried to sit through like Rings of Power. Oh my gosh,
Well, that
it was
was-
boring.
Amazon.
Somebody that was paid to watch Rings of Power to like analyze the show and see if they got there, like what they could do different, fell asleep during the show and was like, oh man, this is not a good sign.
Yeah.
Like actual industry analysts,
And nobody's ever fallen asleep during
people that are
4
paid,
hours of
he's
Lord of the
paid
Rings.
to review the show and woke up and went like, uh-oh, I don't think that show is very good.
I lost my job.
So, okay. But in spite of that, I have a Star
okay,
Wars
apparently
theory.
Andor is the prequel to Rogue One.
Yes, which
Yes.
is the only good Star Wars Disney piece of content.
Okay.
Period.
I was like, Justin's gonna say only good Star Wars content.
So
Star
the
Wars
the character that's the second guy to get blown up by the Death Star at the end of the movie was Cassian Andor, and this is his prequel.
Okay.
So spoiler alert, he dies
But that's in Rogue One.
at the end of each episode. He's like the Kenny of the Star Wars universe
That's
now.
funny.
So, all right. So here's my Star Wars theory for you guys, and feel free to refute
Okay.
it. I would like to believe that the Force doesn't exist,
Keep going.
Go on.
and whenever you see something move, the only form of the Force that exists, like how he like closes his eyes and reaches out to get the lightsaber and everything.
Oh.
Like Luke will be
Yeah.
like hanging upside down in the ice cave and be like,
Yeah.
and they had to write that whole scene in the movie because he got into a car accident and broke his nose.
I didn't know that.
No.
He
Nice.
and he jacked up his face, so they're like, oh,
I guess you could be hurt now.
yeah. So they hung him upside down, put some blood on him, and they're like, okay, this is why your face is smashed in 6
Oh.
inches.
That's
So-
horrible.
The only form of the Force that exists isn't like the Force as a power. It's all Force ghosts.
So you're saying, hold on. I think I'm
Every time you see something move,
I think I'm picking up what you're putting down.
It was like it was like Force Qui-Gon picked up his lightsaber and like threw it to him.
And like, or like slapping it out of somebody's hand. If, you know, like if somebody gets like force pushed, it's just because there's a force ghost like grabbing the collar of their shirt and just yanking them backwards.
So they're just like praying that it'll happen to all these other Jedis that have passed.
Yeah.
And they're going,
Okay,
please.
okay, hang on.
Help this to
What
happen.
about the first Jedi? How did they do it?
They didn't. They actively moved things with their arms, and then they became a ghost and helped others.
So here's how I know that all of the Force is Force ghosts in canon. The first person to ever become a Force ghost in the history. So okay, there have been Jedi and Sith for like thousands of years, right? Going back like millennia.
Sure.
Okay, just in the lore, like in the comics and everything, there have been ancient sects of Force users since forever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And only good Jedi can become a Force ghost.
Why?
Because evil Jedi, Sith, have too much attachment to this. Like, that's why the Jedi preach detachment, because you're supposed to be detached from everything that's here so that when you pass on, you're not too attached to this mortal coil.
Okay, so
that
then
why-
they don't have Force ghosts, so how do the bad guys use the Force?
Is that why they want to be eternal?
Yeah, that's why they want to live forever, because this is it for them.
And, well, now to Josiah's question. That was a good one.
So here's the annoying thing. Here's why it has to be Force ghosts. Because allegedly, okay, the first Jedi to ever become a Force ghost was Qui-Gon Jinn.
That's
Okay.
In the 4,000 years of the history of Jedi, the first guy to ever be like, oh my gosh, I could become a Force ghost. Like, how many Yodas and Mace Windus and Force Masters that could like, okay, so the ancient history of the Sith. There were ancient Sith that could absorb the energy of an entire planet.
So, are you just debunking what you just said? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm proving, here's why. There's no way in the world that out of 4,000 years, Qui-Gon Jinn, that Rob Roy, that Taken is the first dude that Liam Neeson or
Brian.
sorry, from the movie, is the first Force user to ever be like, you know, I have this one very specific power now. Out of 4,000 years, stop it.
Well, so I don't remember 1, 2, and 3.
So I'm comparing it to how the ancient Sith were unbelievably powerful, that they could like Palpatine even created a Force storm that could go like light years away. Like, you know, when he shot lightning at all the ships and everything?
Yeah.
He could make that attack go to the next star.
Yeah. No, but so you're saying it's sarcasm that
Nope.
Oh,
No.
Hold on. No, it's sarcasm that I forgot his name. Qui-Gon
Qui-Gon.
was the first ghost.
No, I'm saying
Jordan,
there's
here,
no
let me
way that's
explain it.
possible.
Let me explain what he's saying.
No, I get it.
So, no, you don't, though,
I
because
do.
you're saying it wrong.
No. Oh, I mean,
So what I think Justin is saying is that all of the previous dead Jedi, instead of becoming Force ghosts,
They are
became-
Force ghosts, but they're just like
not
this
projecting.
applesauce of mush that's just invisible energy that tingles and jingles you. But it's them, but it's this amalgamated mass of others where
so
they don't
like
have their own
Qui-Gon Jinn
individual
is
identity.
he's not helping Anakin Skywalker, or he's not helping the actual living Jedi move stuff around because he's using his Force powers to project. The rest of the dead ones are being helpful.
And that's why when they lift something, like they're not lifting it, they're communicating with it. But you can't communicate with an inanimate object. They're communicating with other intelligences that are then moving things on their behalf.
This is very on point.
Well,
for
that
Halloween.
would explain the midichlorians.
It would. Because all you're doing is like reading how many times this guy is like requested in a day.
Midichlorians are basically how much you can activate your pineal gland to have biologically generated psilocybin in your brain so that you could be a psychonaut and see the machine elves on the other side of our visible universe. So, okay.
I hope someone takes that clip and breaks it all down in their own podcast.
Just word by word has to unpack what on earth just happened.
Just like, I'm just sitting here going, I don't even know what is, I don't know what this is, but we're just going to move on from that.
Okay, Josiah. You know how at the end of The Last Jedi, or end of Jedi Strikes Back.
Jedi Strikes Back.
The Return of the Jedi.
Which episode?
6.
Okay,
it doesn't help
continue.
me. Is that the last one? Or?
So after the Battle of Endor, Luke walks up to the trees and sees all the dead Jedi, and one of them is Anakin.
Yeah.
And he just went from being a bad guy to being a good guy.
Wait.
Yeah.
Anakin didn't die.
Jordan, stop. Justin, continue.
Jordan, stop. Thankfully, Josiah, you have somebody with Jordan's intelligence working on fixing the audio for this show. So,
yeah, true.
Sorry,
Okay.
my computer like logged out for a second, and I was like, "Oh no, is it recording?" And then I came back, and I was so I missed a couple sentences of Justin's wild theories.
Here, because Qui-Gon Jinn, like you only have the time from Qui-Gon Jinn to Anakin, which is like it's basically like 30 years or something from when Qui-Gon Jinn died, because Anakin was already alive, right?
Yeah.
No, it's sorry. Luke was born at the end, so it was maybe like 30 something years. Okay. So becoming a Force ghost was only 30 years old. So in all of Yoda's 900 years of life, he was never like, no. Qui-Gon Jinn finally had this epiphany moment. So then, in between when Darth was obviously an evil Jedi, like he killing younglings, killing other Jedi, he was a bad guy, right? We could all agree on that?
Yeah, bad man.
And then he saves Luke, and in between there, it's not just something you can just, if everybody doesn't become a Force ghost, right? Anakin Skywalker, in between the time that he went good, saves Luke, would have had to, before the Death Star explodes, he's dead, and Luke Skywalker burns his body in a pyre, would have had to have this nirvana moment where he learns how to become a Force ghost. So because Anakin is a Force ghost, it would mean that everybody is a Force ghost. It's just what level of incarnation are you allowed to have?
So like Yoda,
like what level of personhood?
I see. So Yoda and Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are like allowed to be personable.
They have
maybe everyone's been a Force ghost this whole time.
Yes.
But because they're not characters in the movie, we never see them.
I mean, exactly. Everybody had, like, everybody who's ever died, right? Force ghost.
So,
because there's no way you could say that Vader, for the 15 minutes he was alive and a good Jedi, figured out the thing that Qui-Gon Jinn studied for years upon years to...
But back to Josiah's question, how do the bad guys use their powers? And throw people around and...
Well, that...
Yeah, if they don't have Force ghosts...
Yeah.
They do.
I thought you said they didn't.
But according to the lore, you have... Force ghosts didn't exist until 30 years, which is implausible. And then Anakin Skywalker, who was a evil Jedi, has a Force ghost. He was good for 30 seconds.
He was always good.
You're telling me that Qui-Gon Jinn took 30 seconds of study, in which case, the fact that Anakin Skywalker, the amount of time he was good and figured out how to do it, you're telling me that he then
Maybe
no one
he
else
learned how to
figured out
do
how to
it.
do it.
Maybe Qui-Gon Jinn taught his apprentice, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then Obi-Wan Kenobi taught Anakin Skywalker when they were young, before he became evil, so he knew how to do it the whole time.
Yeah, maybe he was.
No, come on,
Always.
Justin, respond to that. That was a good one.
Okay, go ahead, Justin.
Come on. What say you?
Anakin.
He knew the whole time.
The reason that Anakin didn't just clap his cheeks on Mustafar when they were doing their big giant lightsaber fight in the lava pits,
Yeah?
the reason, why did Anakin lose?
Because he was good.
Because he didn't have the high ground.
Okay, does he have the most midichlorians?
Yes.
Yeah.
Known to man.
Okay, so basically he has the highest potential access to the Force with the most midichlorians, right?
But he didn't have the high ground, so that didn't matter.
Hang on. So with all of that Force power, right? Like in what's that dumb movie?
Episode
Obi-Wan.
1?
In
Oh.
Obi-Wan, we see him with Force powers alone pick up Obi-Wan and just pull him into fire,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which means that he can pick up Obi-Wan and pull him into lava,
Yes.
right?
Granted, Obi-Wan was a lot less powerful then. He was out of practice. He was getting old.
And Darth Vader
was
way weaker from being burned and cut off. And having your body damaged and having your arms missing makes you weaker.
But
I don't know if it did. He looked like he got stronger after that.
No, he's been practicing, and when he was Anakin, he was all mentally distracted.
He didn't practice at all. He was notorious for doing what came naturally to him and putting zero investment into it. Whereas Obi-Wan was notorious
But
oppositely
Obi-Wan
for
was
practicing
old.
like a hound.
But he was just practicing with whale blubber
in
and
the
getting
show-
all fat.
Non-stop.
In the show Obi-Wan Kenobi, they set up the whole show to show you how old and frail and weak he was. So the fact that he couldn't fight back against Darth Vader, who had spent that many years that Obi-Wan was getting old and frail, he had spent that whole time
Raging.
and hunting for him and keeping his power strong.
Okay,
It does not surprise me that Darth Vader won that fight.
The Emperor wanted Luke to be his apprentice is because Vader was so weakened by the damage done to him on Mustafar. What's his name?
Vader?
Palpatine.
Oh.
Didn't even want to put his soul into Vader's body because it was so damaged and weak and not as strong as it was when he was Anakin.
Wait, so Palpatine wanted to put his soul into Luke?
Into Anakin's body originally.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then because Anakin was so damaged and weakened by what happened.
Was that
he
in the
like,
movies?
Forget it.
Was that did he say that in the movie?
I'm sure it was in some canonicity.
I'm like, what did I miss?
He actually wanted to do that. He wanted Anakin to be his vessel. The most powerful Force user ever born was going to be his personal vessel into the future.
I see.
And then he wanted to pick up Luke, which, okay, even in episode 7, he tells Rey, strike me down, and then I'll just go into your body.
But that's his granddaughter.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, he was going to do that with Luke.
Yeah, interesting.
So you could tell that even Vader was so weak that Emperor Palpatine didn't even want to possess the body of the so-called Chosen One. And the fact that Vader started sticking like Force crystals into his skin and stuff, into like the weird like open sores from the burn marks on his skin and everything.
What movie's this?
Comic books.
Oh.
So he stuck a crystal into his burn mark and to amplify his Force powers.
Yeah.
So he started putting all the effort into it that he didn't when he was Anakin.
He's been juicing.
So the fact that he's standing there on the platform, Obi-Wan,
He's like Jack LaLanne.
Since episode 1, when he had to pull himself up over Darth Maul's head and cut him in half, that Obi-Wan had been practicing for that moment for the past 18 years, whereas Anakin was like, I'm a getcha, and leaps instead of just going like force push on the gravel underneath, or force pull.
I also think that was a pride thing as well, not just I couldn't. It was like, I'm going to fight.
No, he said, don't try it.
Yeah. Well,
He's like,
that was
I'm
Obi-Wan.
gonna.
Yeah. He said,
Says you.
Yeah, I'm going to do it anyway because I'm a young whippersnapper.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, you can't say I can't do this. I'll do it anyway.
Yeah.
And then he does it, and then he gets all of his limbs chopped off.
I mean, I think he had one.
No, that was the robot arm.
No, I think he has one arm.
That was the one arm? I thought that was a robot arm.
I think he has one arm.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure he has one arm, Jordan.
I think he has one set of fingers.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say anymore because I've seen that movie maybe once.
How many times have you seen Star Wars? Like
I think maybe one each.
one each, just one viewing.
One viewing each.
That is not a lot.
Yeah. I think maybe Clone Wars, the movie, twice, because maybe.
Like you have.
There's no way you've only watched episodes 1 and 2 only once. We watched that like all the time growing up, especially episode 1. I've watched Jar Jar Binks with you.
Okay.
Absolutely more than
maybe,
one time.
Maybe 1 and 2, like more.
Have you watched episode 1 a whole bunch with Jordan?
I think I do remember episode 1 a lot.
When we were growing up, the pod race scene. Come on.
And there was like big old hover tanks.
Yeah.
Like
that's why I remember episode 2 and 1. 2 very clearly because there was like the big tanks and all the army guys getting out of the tank and everything. It was good
And then
stuff.
that was the one where Yoda was like bouncing around doing a lightsaber fight.
I think that was episode 3.
No, he does.
No.
He does lightsaber
Come on.
stuff in episode 2 too.
Really?
I mean, he
All
fights. He doesn't.
See, I don't know.
I think he fights Palpatine in 3. So for sure in 3.
Oh,
Yoda,
yeah.
And he fights Count Dooku in a cave above the clone trooper fight in episode 2.
Yeah.
And that's where he absorbs the Force lightning and shoots it back at him.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, as a little ball.
I never
And
knew.
then he makes the big pillar fall. Come on.
Who is the lightning? If all these people are just moving stuff with the Force, who is the lightning? What is the lightning?
Well, all they're doing, because they're a ghost, so they're just exciting electrons in the air.
Oh, okay. So it's like, okay, ready, guys, run together.
Yeah, it's just static electricity buildup.
All right.
They could just like rub their palms together they're just.
So 16. If Palpatine's walking around, he has like 26 of them in the room, ready to rub their palms together.
Well, no, okay, so how do they move something? They just move somebody's like atoms, for goodness sakes, okay?
Yeah.
And to make force lightning, they're just moving electrons.
Yeah.
So
Hubba dabba 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 dabba.
I've yet to see anything that isn't just like particle physics,
Yeah.
but being done from the other side of this visible.
Yeah. I want to see the other side. You
Like-
should make that Star Wars series. It's called The Other Side.
Yeah, and it's just all fifth dimensional beings.
Yeah. And then you just hear like, and then you see Palpatine. Ah! And
Yeah.
Then he's doing the lightning. Yeah.
Like it's like the Force ghosts are just guys walking around in like a green unitard, like the green screen suits.
Yeah.
And then they'll just like pull one of the actors back.
Yeah. They do the Force push in episode 1.
And they just like shove him. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great.
No,
You should-
absolutely. But exactly like you see it with the guy in the green screen suit. That's basically the Force ghost yanking on you.
Yeah.
So what we use to make movies, they use to change history.
That's where we get it from. That was where we got the ideas.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're called
Demons. Wait, what?
Force special effects suits. Yeah.
It's like the guys wearing all black
It's a work in
theater.
progress.
You know
Yeah.
the theater guys that are wearing all black?
Exactly.
They're moving the guys all around, moving the teacups and
Yes.
sliding the tables and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, 100% right about this.
Okay. I believe you.
Prove me, fight me.
I mean, we were trying, but I don't know if anyone.
Are you on board, Josiah?
No, I think you're wrong.
All right.
I think you're grasping at straws on this one.
No.
You're trying to make it work, but there's not enough evidence to prove it.
I think there's almost like more evidence for this than anything else I've presented to you guys on the show.
What else would it be? Like what else is causing the Force?
Exactly.
Like,
what else would it be?
like, is it literally just mind power?
No.
But like Justin said, they're connecting with inanimate objects.
The Force is its own thing.
No, you can't just talk to... Because they even say, I'm not moving it, I'm communicating with it.
But
that might be a phenomenon with... what's his name? John Travolta.
The Force
Google Phenomenon.
is its own
movie.
thing. It's not dead people.
Did you ever see Phenomenon with John Travolta, Josiah?
No.
Okay. Watch Powder.
Wait,
should I watch Phenomenon or watch Powder?
What's
Well,
Powder?
they're kind of the same movie, but one of them has a bald albino kid
Are these
that can move stuff with his mind.
Are these appropriate movies?
I mean, I saw them on television, so...
Oh, it's the risky television movies. Oh, boy. There's been a lot of movies on
I'm not sure.
effects, and then you're like, hey, gang, let's watch this movie. And then you go watch it, and
Let's
you're
go download this off
Yeah.
of the internet for its unabridged version.
yeah, let's watch it fully. And then you're like, I thought this movie was on TV last time I saw it.
I don't remember that scene being in there.
None of this was in here. This is awkward, friends.
I'm just saying.
Let's go somewhere else. Let's go bowling.
But
Let's turn this off.
Yeah.
But, like, okay, so we know that Star Wars originally was called the Journal of the Wills.
Was that really the name?
Yeah.
That's a horrible name.
So the Wills are
Will Smith, Will I Am.
Just a couple of brothers.
microscopic sized life forms that manipulate the Force.
So Josiah, So now he's bringing up a new theory that isn't ghosts. This is actually Ant-Man doing Force powers.
No,
that actually makes more sense if they're all tiny people. With the Force powers.
The Wills are actual canon. George Lucas's original title for Star Wars was going to be the Journal of the Wills.
Yeah, that doesn't make it canon.
Just because
they didn't name it that.
Yeah, there's just because he wanted to do it. It's like the Christmas episode being like...
Okay, but even in Rogue One, the temple that they meet the blind guy in front of is called like they're called like acolytes of the Wills or whatever. The Wills are certainly canon.
But the temple guy in Rogue One was like the worst part of the movie.
Why? He?
I'm just saying.
He's not the worst part of the movie.
All right. I'm the Force, and the Force is with me, or whatever.
Sure, he's talking to the Wills.
No, I know.
That explains why he doesn't get hit.
So that makes total sense to me now. Is they're not Force ghosts, but it's a bunch of Ant-Man people, because we know the universe in Star Wars is vast and wide, and there's a lot of different creatures, right?
Sure.
Right? So it's a bunch of atom-sized people that are helping out.
Yeah, it's not dead people.
A certain creed or a certain religion.
You don't even know.
Oh, I'm saying a theory that's even better.
No, I'm just telling Josiah to be quiet.
Oh.
No, it's just not. It's not. I'm not buying that it's just the dead people though.
No.
Like
these are Ant-Man people.
So maybe it's the dead people, is what we're saying.
No, I think it's tiny people.
No, because if it was the dead people,
because
you're telling me that the Force thousands of years ago like wasn't as strong.
Well,
because there was like less dead people.
There's less tiny people. And then the tiny people
Well,
have
obviously it would
getting together.
because there's always going to be like the number of dead people is always going to go up.
Yeah, the number of tiny people will always go up.
So,
too.
given the number of dead people contributing to the amalgamated mass that is the Force of this disambiguated mass of spirit tissue floating around is ever growing.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which means that it would reach a critical mass to where one of them could solidify.
That makes sense that they're even rating stuff in midichlorians because it's the amount of tiny people that are in your bloodstream. Those are midichlorians.
Jordan, it's not Lilliputians.
I don't know what a Lilliputian is.
Gulliver's Travels.
No, those are I forget.
It's Lilliputians.
The borrowers. You just eat all the borrowers and then you get
Yes.
midichlorians.
That's precisely. All I'm saying is obviously the Force would get stronger over time for exactly that reason.
Well, they're gathering all the little people from different universes.
Yes.
Are we allowed to... Are we allowed to call Ant-Man people little people?
I mean, he is a little person when he turns on his Ant-Man suit.
No,
and then he can do like lightning.
I can't even stand the Ant-Man technology because it's the same as Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? That was a great Disney movie too.
All it does is Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and in Ant-Man, it doesn't remove the number of molecules that you have. It reduces the space between your molecules.
So you're like super strong.
Because if your atoms were the size of a basketball, like the next atom that was the size of a basketball would be like a football field away.
Yeah. Go on.
In your hand, you're more empty space than you are stuff.
Sure.
Yeah,
So
we've talked
Ant-Man-
about that before.
Yeah.
So Ant-Man is shrinking that space to shrink down.
That's why he's still strong.
But he still weighs 150 pounds worth of atoms.
Yeah, that's why it like hurts when he's like stepping on you and stuff. He's donk, 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 you know?
But that means when he sits on an ant, he still weighs 150 pounds.
Ants are so strong. Ants are stronger than like they're supposed to be, like spiders.
That means that when he gets giant, he still weighs 150 pounds.
That's true.
And his surface area has increased exponentially.
What about, well, can he drink more now because his stomach can hold more? You know?
Yes.
Yeah? So what if he just does, that's how he gets heavy?
Is he just drinks. But then when he shrinks
just
back down
does his grow laser.
Yeah.
And
then
then
he
sits there
shrinks
for a couple hours and drinks about
And then when
an
he
Olympic
shrinks back
swimming
down
pool
from being
size worth
giant-
of water.
He's just vomiting
Yeah.
all the time.
He's just like a geyser getting like forced out of his nose, his eyes, and his ears. Just like the little clown squeeze doll that you squeeze too hard, but it's water shooting out of every hole in his body.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's not. Maybe the atoms being closer together makes you weigh less. You know, maybe it's that space in between. That's where the weight comes from. The atoms actually don't weigh anything. It's the negative space that is what's causing us to be heavy.
Well, I mean, given I'm like the firmest believer in string theory, I'm almost inclined to believe you because all it is string, because gravity is just a closed string that the reason it appears to be so weak in our universe is because it's trans-dimensional and it's going... Basically, there's a single amount of... There's all of these closed strings that like float between multiple dimensions. Like, have you ever seen a quantum vacuum, Josiah?
Let's just say yes.
It's like a Dyson.
So basically, they take a jar and they suck all the air out of it. So it's a complete... There's nothing in the jar, even like air. And then they look at it with a microscope, and there's little like particles that float in and out of existence. Like they'll flicker into the jar, and then they'll disappear. Right? So on the quantum level, it's impossible to have like a empty space where there's nothing in it, because there's always things like little subatomic particles that like
particles. Nice.
they just go like they just wisp into existence and then they disappear completely.
That's a particle.
That's
how I've always described those.
And that's why compared to like electromagnetism, which is why our hand doesn't push the empty space between our atoms doesn't push through this table.
Well, that's why that whole theory is just incorrect, because if we were that much empty space, we would just like fall through the earth. Like we can't.
But that's why
we can't be that much empty space. That's just that.
Well, no, but that's the electromagnetism, the communication
you
between our atoms is what's pushing against
make sense, Justin.
The other. Like the electromagnetism is what's holding us together.
No, those are the strings that are holding us together.
The communication between those two atoms. So
it just doesn't make sense. You can't be that much empty space.
The universe and everything in it is just one giant model for communication.
Then why don't I just like when I put on a sweater?
But that's why gravity it appears to be so weak compared to
So why can I see the holes in my
electromagnetism
shirt, but not the holes in my
because we don't get
hand?
sucked down to the middle of the earth because gravity is so weak because that gravity is being stretched across like basically string theory predicts like 24 different dimensions and gravity is being spread out evenly across all of them, whereas electromagnetism is only here in this one. In this
So what you're saying is now you do like Ant-Man because when he gets small, the weight of the empty space in between his atoms wouldn't crush the ant anymore.
No, he would crush the ants.
It's an exoskeleton. They're very strong.
Oh my gosh. No,
I was talking to someone and they talked about, I think if the Earth stopped spinning, like we would all like fly off. And I was like, that's not, the Earth spinning isn't causing gravity.
Earth spinning isn't causing gravity.
Like the spinning of the Earth isn't the reason why there's gravity.
That's why you would fly off if there was no gravity. Like if gravity disappeared all of a sudden, if gravity just went from on to off,
then we would just go.
You would fly off. But because it's here, you don't.
Yeah, exactly. I know, it was a silly conversation. I was like
if it stopped spinning.
No. Stop what you're saying.
Like the ocean would get gross very
quickly. Who were you having that conversation with? Call him out live on the show.
No, it's okay.
No. It's okay. Well, but I will say Ant-Man is the one hero that even though he's like the dumbest power, he's the one hero that you actually do get to talk about like string theory and electromagnetism, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, I would think that he's an excellent gateway into pseudoscience, and for that, I thank him.
Yeah. Thanks,
Ant-Man.
And for that, we thank you.
Well, thanks for listening, everyone.
Yay! Thank you!
The music is playing right now, I think.
Merry Christmas!
And
it's really weird. It's throwing off the vibe of the show to not be able to actually hear that and like interact with the music.
Yeah.
I really want to like feel.
I know.
Next week when Jordan fixes it, Josiah, he will have reached the point where you can hear music.
Well, any of us could hear the music. That'd
so
be crazy.
let it be written. So let it be done.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Bye.